Everyone, so a new session about again SwiftUI. So in this session we are going to explore the different SwiftUI views. So we are going to start with the basic ones. So in this session we will cover the text, the images, and the button. So as usual, let's create a new project. So file, new, and a new project. So iOS, an app as usual, and let's call this one SwiftUI 1. So please know that we are always using the interface SwiftUI. The language is Swift, since the Objective-C has passed away since years, and let's create our new project. A couple of seconds and the project will appear. So this is the default project created each time you want to create a project in SwiftUI. And let's see what we can do. So first of all, allow certain seconds to see the interface. Everything in SwiftUI, or everything that you see in SwiftUI, is a view. So the views are the screen that you see, are the color that you see, are the buttons, are the text, are everything. So for every view, which is this one, you will have always a file. So we have a content view to manage this specific interface. So if I wanna create another view, since my application needs, for example, several views, so I have simply to click on the button plus, choose from the template, and I need to choose from the template SwiftUI view. Next, so this will be, for example, my second view. And my second view will create again another view. And we will see later how we can connect these views between each other. So for the time being, we need only one view. So let's get rid of this one. And let's go back to the original one. So here we'll be simply exploring what kind of views or what kind of, let's say, graphical components we can align in our interfaces. So do not pay attention to the word VStack. This will be explained in another video. So the VStack, in short, it is simply the way we are going to organize different components. If I want to see them one after one, in a vertical layout, a horizontal one, or one on top of the other one. So the first basic view in SwiftUI is the text. Text, which is a kind of label. It means something that usually we do not click on. So if I would like, for example, to display text, hello or welcome to this course. So normally there is no click. For sure we can manage the click, but it is not suitable. So the text is a kind of label that displays for you a text, a basic text on the interface. For every text, we have a plenty of properties. We call them modifiers, which means that I can modify the text. I can modify the text through these modifiers simply by clicking a dot. And here I will get access to all the possible modifiers that can be applied to this text. So the most common one are the bold, if you would like to make your text bold. The other one is the font, if you would like to change the font. So for the font, you have two options. Either choose from a predefined fonts, you have simply to click on the dot and you'll get access to them. Title, large title. Or if you wanted to customize them, so you need to go back to the font. It is system size, and you need to set the size of your text, for example 33. This is what I'm looking for specifically. So what else we have? You have also the italic, if you want to make it italic. Let's now play with the colors. So if you like to change the foreground or the color of the text, so it is foreground style, and again dot and choose from the list of colors. You have also the background, so dot and background. So again, for the background, you need to choose the color. What is the background of your text? So it can be yellow, and you will get your yellow. So as you can see here, when we set the background, the yellow is very close to the text. So if you want to create a kind of space between the text and the rest of, let's say, the rest of the word, we can use what we call the padding. So you have to go to the first one and apply dot padding. So this padding will create a kind of surrounding area through the whole text. You see, now there is, so the border doesn't touch the text. So the text now is needed 2 lines because the size is large. So if you can set it to 15, you will get it this way, or even 20. I think it should be fine. Okay, and this is how we get it. Okay, so this is for the first view, and there are plenty of modifiers. You can simply again exploring them by simply adding a dot to the at the end of the view. So after the text, let's explore the second one, which is the image. So for the image, you have 2 options. You have either to upload an image to the folder assets, so you can upload an image from your from your laptop. So I think that I have one. So for example, the teacher, and I have simply to upload it to the folder assets. Now this image teacher has been uploaded to my app. You can upload it according to different resolutions. Now I can use it on my app simply by using the name of that image. So image, I can simply call teacher, and you will see immediately the image displayed on my interface. A couple of seconds, time just to upload the image. And as you note, so here we put the text before the image, so the text will appear first, and then the image will appear second. One more time. We have it. So as you can see, the image is taking the whole space. So to make it more, let's say, flexible and adaptable, you need to add always 2 main modifiers. The first one, again, modifier resizable, so that we can adjust the size. And the second one is scale it to fit. So now the photo or the image is taking its own or its real size. So the same thing, if you see that the image is touching, let's say, the borders of the screen, you can create a kind of padding, which is a kind of surrounding area between the image and the rest of the elements. So I can add the padding here again, but at the end you will have too many spaces. So you need to use this padding with Y. So you can see the space here has increased. For the image, again, you can put them on a frame if you wish. So this, maybe the frame here is not suitable. You can create a kind of shadow for the image. So what is the radius of the shadow? It means how thick is the shadow. You have simply to set a number. Let's make it 20. And you can see that we have a kind of shadow surrounding the image. So this is for the second view. So we have seen the text, the image. Let's see something else. Let's see the button. So to create a button, it is simply a kind of text. A button is simply a text. It means it has a label. Let's call it press me, or let's say create account, for example. And then, but the difference between between a button and the text is that the button will have an action. So the action, you need to open these curly braces, which means when the user will click on the create account, the code to be executed needs to be written here inside. So here the code, so this is the code to be run when the button is clicked. So we need to add it here. We will see in separate videos on how we can create actions for buttons. Now the same thing for the buttons. So maybe this can be confusing for some users. It looks like a text. So if you want to make it more, if you want to customize it, so simply go back to the line again and press the button. Maybe you have to create a kind of foreground for it. So foreground, let's make the foreground blue. So this will probably hide the text, which makes sense. Make it yellow. And then we are going to add a background color for the button, which is blue. Now the text is yellow, so we are missing a W here, okay, and the button is, the background is blue. So again, as you can see, the text is touching the borders of the button, so you need to add certain padding, but you have to do this first. Padding. This is done. Again, we can, let's say, stretch a little bit the button. So to stretch the button a little bit, you need to use what we call a frame. So frame needs a width and a height. So make it, let's make the button a bit long. And the height is just, let's say 50, I think it's reasonable height. 150, not that tall, so 200 maybe. Let's do this before all that stuff. Yeah, okay. Now we have it, so the height is 2. Maybe at this level there is no need to add the padding, since we are controlling the size of the button through the frame. So again, we used to have a button with rounded corners. So here we have simply to add a property called corner radius. So here, what is the angle by which the corner of the button will be rounded? So we can simply set 15, and as you can see, we have a rounded button. So this is simply how we can use these three types of views to create a very basic apps. So that's it for today, and see you on the next session.